Welcome in. Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we'll answer your mailbag questions. Comes from our live shows that we do on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, where you guys submit questions to us in real time, and we answer them when people use the hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. We react to those questions in real time. It's a pretty cool deal. And you may be saying to yourself, man, I would love to be a part of a mailbag segment, but how do I do it? Well, you are in luck. If you subscribe to the channel, then you will know when we go live, and so you, too, can get your questions in and be a part of our mailbag segment. So subscribe now. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Be a part of our mailbag segments. You'll be glad you did, and we would love to have you here on our next live mailbag. Let's start with our first one. A $7 Super Chat coming in from Ben. Says, go Geno. I agree. Go Geno. Despite what some of the haters and the losers may say, I very much am a fan of Geno Smith and loved what he did in 2022. And I can't wait to see what he does for an encore in 2023. Ideally, Ben, I think you would like to see Geno Smith build upon what he did this past season. And he obviously played at a Pro Bowl level, won Comeback Player of the Year. If he could take another step further, that'd be huge for this Seahawks team. They have the best quarterback in the division right now, relatively speaking. Now, with that said, let's say that he plays just the same or even takes a step back a little bit. You can even deal with that to an extent because the talent around Geno is going to be even better than it was a season ago. So, yes, go Geno, go Geno, go. Let's hope he has a big year. Matthew writes, hashtag Seahawks, outside of interior D-line, what's another position the Seahawks need depth? I'm thinking offensive guard, punt returner, kick returner, and strong safety. Let's break those down one by one. Offensive guard, yeah, they potentially could. They could use some help there. I think a lot of that depends on how much Anthony Bradford develops. We talked about it on the channel this week. There's a chance that he could be the starter for the Seahawks when the season begins at right guard. So depending on his development, could decide how much depth you need. Punt and kick returner, you can never have too many return specialists as far as I'm concerned. One problem, though, is that the league, with the rules, the way things are going, it is much harder and it's much more difficult for return men to have an impact on the game, especially in the kick return side, with just how soft we've gotten rules-wise when it comes to the kick returns. And I understand it's player safety and all that, but I think it's made the game a lot worse by taking that out of the game. So although I would like to see you have a few more pieces, you don't necessarily have to, sadly, just based on the way that the game's going. Strong safety, maybe so. More the merrier there. I think a lot of that also depends on, Jamal Adams' status of how quickly his recovery comes along and what that means, the trickle-down effect for the safety room as a whole of how many bodies they have available there. I would also, as I've been preaching a lot on this channel and will continue to reiterate, as far as what I would look to when you're looking at, what needs to be added and what needs help on the depth chart, the interior of the defensive line. As you mentioned at the top, I think that's a big deal for Seattle. So, yeah, you make good points there, Matthew. Supersonic fan, I would guess not in Oklahoma City, writes in, will Shelby Harris re-sign with the Seahawks anytime soon? Yes. I think Shelby Harris is coming back, at least at the time of this recording anyway. I think momentum is headed that direction, where although he won't be making as much money as he did previously, he doesn't really have better options than Seattle. And we know Pete Carroll likes him. He had a solid season this past year. Of all the issues that we talked about with the front seven for the Seahawks last year, Shelby Harris was not one of those. I would like to see Shelby Harris back. Another rotational piece, another body involved. To me, I think that'd go a long way. I'd like to see Shelby Harris back. Unless somebody comes in out of nowhere with a better offer, the Seahawks have every reason why they should bring back Shelby Harris because he's a talented player, makes the team better, would fill a need of some sorts, more bodies, more depth like we talked about, and he shouldn't cost you too much either. So, yes, I think it's going to happen. Put your GM hat on. Tell me what you think. Should the Seahawks bring back Shelby Harris? Y for yes, N for no. Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Should the Seahawks bring him back or not? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Pablo says, how many sacks will Bobby Wagner have this season? Great question. I don't want to put a specific number on how many sacks Bobby Wagner is going to get because I think that, quite frankly, his role, one of the things that I would like to see in this defense that he does so much better than Jordan Brooks is what he does in coverage as a coverage linebacker. Bobby is one of the best coverage linebackers in the league. So I don't need him so much to be blitzing and pressuring and getting too many sacks that much. At least that's what I'm thinking. I want him to go play coverage and, go defend some of those tight ends, go, bat some balls, go get those interceptions, do that thing. So I'm not concerned that we see Bobby Wagner getting the sack totals up as far as I'm concerned. To me, I want to see him play more coverage as far as that goes. Pablo with another follow-up question. How many sacks will Devin Bush have this season as a Seahawk? Let's go Seahawks. That is, I think, dependent on Jordan Brooks' health status. But I would expect Devin Bush to be more of a blitzer than Bobby Wagner in that sense. I think you're going to see Devin Bush play more of a pass rush role and try to go after the quarterback, and Bobby Wagner more focused on coverage. I think you're going to look at a couple different, at least a few sacks from Devin Bush as far as that goes. 12th man asks, what's the status of Jamal Adams' return? That's a great question. The last that we heard about Jamal Adams was that he was making progress, that he's headed the right direction as far as making his return goes. The Seahawks expect that he'll be able to go week 1 for the Seahawks and that he'll be a starter once again and everything will go back to normal. But obviously we need to see that happen first. And here's one thing I'll think. I'm no doctor, okay? But just simple math and numbers and schedule-wise. Think about this, okay? Jamal Adams, his injury occurred week 1 of last year, okay? Simply put, okay, that he should have, in theory anyway, plenty of time to get fully healthy and make that full return and do all that, as far as that goes. Will it happen? Obviously, that is a whole other story. It needs to actually come together. But time, I think, is on his side compared to some other guys, at least, coming back from injuries as far as that goes, based on the timing of his injury. So I think he should be back, but that remains to be seen. What's your confidence level in Jamal Adams this season? What do you think of Jamal Adams? What type of year is he going to have? Is he going to be available? Is he going to be able to stay healthy? Scale your confidence in Jamal Adams for me in the comment section 1 through 10, and let me know what you think. Last question in the inbox today. DK says, how will Geno Smith play in 2023? BK, thanks for the question there. Kind of like what we talked about off the top of the show. I'm excited. I think expectations should be high for Geno Smith. And think about this, okay? From the people I've spoken to and what we've read about Geno Smith is that this past offseason he has put in the work. Not only is he coming off a career season that was the best of his career, okay, but also on top of all that he looks the part, that he's working extremely hard, that he's doing the things that he needs to do this offseason, whether it's on the practice field, the weight room, whatever it may be. And to me, that's a good sign that Geno Smith is ready for an encore, that he's putting in the work to be a great quarterback in this league. So I think you're going to see a very similar year to what he had last year, if not even better, as far as I'm concerned. with Geno Smith in 2023. That's my expectation. We'll see if it becomes reality or not.